Hey everybody, welcome to DeRazzled, the podcast that takes award-winning worst films and fixes them. Except for today. I'm Joe Nealis, one of your regular hosts. I'm without my fellow host Jack Culbertson currently because I'm recording this from my own home. This is a very special deleted scenes episode from season 1. We have a bunch of different outtakes and deleted material from about a 2/3 worth of the season. We didn't think to do this until about a third of the way into the season, so I apologize if you wanted to really hear some stuff from Battlefield Earth or from Wild Wild West or anything like that, but we just don't have that material left at the moment. But there's a ton of really great bits here that we wanted to make sure you heard, so we hope you enjoy this stuff as much as we have. There will be another one of these deleted scenes episodes in 2 weeks before we jump in full force into season 2. We have already started planning and plotting and researching for season 2, and Jack and I are really excited to bring that stuff to you and to see how you like it. We're also still excited to see if you have any suggestions for season 2. So if you want to help us flesh out that schedule a little bit, please email us at DeRazzledPodcast@gmail.com. We are going to be expanding the second unit so that it is a monthly occurrence, so it won't be just this haphazard thing that pops up every now and then with a bunch of nonsense. We're going to be planning and thoroughly researching that kind of stuff to help turn that into a really good source of solid content to both expand our base and to just give you some more fun stuff to listen to, because we've got a lot of stuff that we're curious about and want to learn more about or just think is weird or funny. So we want to keep on exploring those kind of avenues. We want you along for the ride with us. This is going to be the only time I pop in at any point during this episode, partially because I'm recovering from COVID and I'm just not going to have the stamina to record a whole bunch of stuff for this here today. Jack, that does mean I'm going to be interspersing horse noises throughout the entire thing to break up the bits in between each piece of recording, so sorry in advance for that. So before I go, I will just remind you to please follow us on social media, on Twitter at DeRazzledPod, on Facebook at DeRazzledPodcast, on Instagram at DeRazzled_podcast, and on TikTok at dullboy_Jack. I'm not sure if Jack's going to be updating that to something more show-specific at any time soon, but either way, please go check out the stuff that he puts together there, because it's definitely worth your time. He puts together some really great short videos based on some of the bits from the show. Please make sure that you are sharing the show as widely as you can with your friends, family, coworkers, whoever you can possibly share the show with. We want more and more people to hear us. The best way to do that is by rating and reviewing the show wherever possible. You can do so on Spotify, on Good Pods, on Apple, on Stitcher, on Podchaser. They're practically everywhere. Please do that so that we can get in front of more people's eyes, into more people's ears. Because that helps those algorithms put us into those higher search rankings and into better positions for discoverability. So I believe that is about it. So I'm going to, without further ado, let you get to the material. You will hear our normal anchor ad to help break things up throughout the episode here. But I will see you again in 2 weeks. And then 2 weeks after that, we will be back to Razzle Dazzle ya.
Real quick before you shut off the audio, do you want to do a quick riff, possible replacement for the opening where we talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the fuckery that Spider-Man caused?
Yeah. Let's do that a little bit. Yeah.
I'm gonna treat it like it's an intro, but we can also just add it as like an extra somewhere.
Okay.
So, as good as Spider-Man Enter the Cat toy. What the fuck? I don't know.
What just happened?
I like cats. Spider-Man returning to home, far from away from
No,
home.
that was the last one.
Shit.
Jesus Christ. Spider-Man No Way Home.
That's what I said.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry.
So Marvel really fucked up with that movie.
What?
They really fucked up.
I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
They opened Pandora's box when they said, "Hey, Tobey Maguire, spoilers for this movie." If you haven't added a spoiler already, I don't know.
How. Yeah.
But when they opened the door, like, this is now part of the MCU. This is now part of the MCU. They also opened up the door to every Marvel movie that's ever been made.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's inevitable. You cannot make that movie do those things and not have there be consequences for the universe beyond just the.
Why do you think Doctor Strange was so freaked out?
Yeah, because he's simultaneously taking in all of the fear of things coming through.
So let's talk real quick about what movies are now officially a part of the MCU. I want to start with David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury.
I desperately want to see that Nick Fury interact with Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury.
Almost exactly like Samuel L. Jackson as far as like visually. Just Photoshop a white guy in there and take away the coat, and you have David Hasselhoff.
It's really about it.
Yeah. I remember watching as a youth and being confused. I only knew Nick Fury from the animated Spider-Man movies, and I was like, this feels not good. Weird. You also have to accept Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher.
Yep.
As well as the other Punishers. Tom Jane, who it's a bit of a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, no, I did not hate that movie. No.
Not appropriate, not like doesn't connect with the comics very well, but still enjoyable. You get
which also means that John Travolta is a part
John
of the
Travolta
MCU.
is now part of the MCU. And Jessica, no, not Jessica Romaine, who played Mystique in the X-Men?
Oh, Rebecca Romaine.
Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah.
She's now in the MCU multiple times because she was in that Punisher.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Oh,
as well as
we've got multiple Romaines going on here. That's
fine.
Yeah, I'll take it.
We have to. Do we include? I think we have to include the Hulk live action show plus the additional made for TV movie.
What about the Ang Lee?
Oh fuck! I think you're right.
I think Ang Lee. I don't think we can escape the Ang Lee Hulk here.
You got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
And you got some Hulk dogs, and some what's this fuck being the absorbing man. Nick Nolte? Is it Nick Nolte?
Was it Nick Nolte?
It was one. It was a kooky doodle.
It's a way to put it. I genuinely don't remember.
It doesn't matter, but it's there now. It's official. It's true.
Yeah. I mean, we get Blade.
We do get Blade. I do like that.
We also do get both iterations of the Fantastic Four.
Fuck. Are you included? My brain was like, wait, both the Jessica Alba one and the Roger Corman one?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. In that case, all three.
What's the third one? What am I missing?
Oh, the later one with Michael B. Jordan.
Huh. Somehow that one had been erased from my mind. Thank you. I think we'll probably end up covering that later because I think it won a Razzie.
I don't know if it did.
I think it did. If not, it was,
I
definitely nominated.
I still have the winners pulled up here.
So there's the Roger Corman movie that they made strictly to throw away so they could keep the rights to the Fantastic Four.
Oh, you're right. It tied with 50 Shades of Grey.
That's going to be that was a weird year.
What a weird year. 2015 was fucked.
But we're, and this relates to our episode, the very first movie in the Marvel MCU, Howard the Duck.
Now, I do have to, real quick, moment of silence for Italian Spider-Man. Okay.
I forgot about Italian Spider-Man.
How?
Don't forget Japanese Spider-Man who has a mech.
Oh my god. I did forget about that. But yeah, no, Howard the Duck, obviously, first film in the MCU, and why we are here today.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm stopping recording.
Okay. Fighting the clock. Posh takes the bus over a rising bridge. Drawbridge, right?
Drawbridge.
Yeah, drawbridge. London Bridge is falling down. Like, that might be... do they have multiple bridges like that in London?
I think they just have a single bridge in London.
I wouldn't know what
Just
it's like to have a functional bridge.
Fuck.
We're cutting that.
Yeah, we're...
Too soon. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that from the top, huh?
Yeah, let's take that from the top.
Oh, God. One scene I really liked was when she went into the telephone booth and came out as a man.
Yeah.
And then the man's like,
Hoskins.
girl
The Bob
power.
Hoskins moment, yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was really...
It was bizarre to see her voice come out of
Bob
that man,
Hoskins.
I just remember as a child, like, I would rewind that over and over. I thought it was so funny.
That's pretty good.
Most
My
people,
sense of humor.
he was Roger Rabbit, but to you, he was Ginger Spice.
I never did see Roger Rabbit, so
I love that film.
so
That's
how
so good.
Oh, I want to do that one. That would be fun. Tom Green.
Well, I'm sure we'll do that one in the future.
Oh
but
yeah,
it was
we
like-
have to. Yeah, I think it actually did win worst
think it
picture.
did.
So like, yeah, we'll get there eventually. But
I just remember the scene with the snake. Like that's my
never
favorite.
oh
seen
my
it.
god,
I've never seen Freddy Got Fingered.
And you've never seen Spice World previously.
No,
I
I-
need to watch some movies.
there are so many just absolutely terrible movies that Jack has not seen, and this podcast is changing that for him
Is it?
objectively.
It's that,
It's
and
just-
in a weird way, I'm coming to realize that especially '90s films, that's a weak spot in my knowledge.
yeah.
I think mostly during the '90s, I was watching rewatching Indiana Jones and Star Wars
Oh, I
over and
love-
over and over again.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like my favorite scene was at the end when they open the Ark and all the special effects make
All
up.
the
Like,
Nazis' faces melt. That's great.
I know, happy ending.
And they're like-
I love it.
What I love is that the script said something like, and then the bad things happened, and
Is that-
ILM was like, sure does.
Wait, is that really all it says? Just bad things
it's
happen?
something it's really vague.
Yeah, very, very broad.
And ILM was like, you want to give your kids nightmares and trauma? No problem.
Let's go.
Well, that
I think
he was.
it got good ratings.
I think it got okay. I got like mixed to positive. The last time I saw Matthew Lillard, he does a lot of voice work now.
Oh yeah.
He was in the Twin Peaks revival.
I still haven't seen any of that.
It's a trip.
I mean, it would have to be.
You
It's
kind of
just-
have to like detach from your earthly aura and just float downstream, and also forget everything you've ever watched relating to Twin Peaks because it very, very loosely touches.
Wow.
But Matthew Lillard gets framed for like this vicious murder, and I'm like, oh, you, like I knew you could act, but you can like act. Mm-hmm. Anyway, guest on our show, Matthew Lillard.
God, I would be so happy.
I could die happy. That's it. So, sorry, just like, I wouldn't have Matthew Lillard here and not use him for something. Like, I would like get him to record something that we could put in American Curse, like on the radio.
Oh my god.
It wouldn't fit the time period at all, but I don't care.
No.
Oh God, do you remember when Gene Simmons had his own show, like a live action, like we followed Gene? I
Vaguely.
think it was called like Family Jewels or something like that. It was-
Oh,
Yeah.
I heard of that. Yeah, I've never watched it.
And the only reason I watched it was because his daughter was smoking hot. Anyway,
That was VH1, right?
I think it was.
I think you're right.
Amongst that whole era of VH1 reality celebrity shows.
Oh, I watched the Flavor Flav. What was
I
that?
remember
The
Flavor
Surreal,
of Love.
Surreal Life. I
Well, I was like-
love that.
What's more important than saving Christmas?
Reality.
How
gold.
about the world? Anyway, so you see,
I also never want to hear you say "Saving Christmas" again. Just,
you just had your little Nam style flashback. Oh no! Hold please.
hold please. What happened?
Oh, did it?
Oh, need that juice. Why?
My laptop went dead.
The ring light went out.
Oh,
It's
is it?
plugged
can
into my laptop.
It just has to like do the reboot thing.
Wait, did your computer die?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, you're frozen. Yeah, and you're gone. Okay. Hold for a moment, folks. We're experiencing
The
technical
great '90s
difficulties.
solution.
Yeah, great pitch.
Shut it down! Shut it down!
Did I say Y2K before that
You
happened?
did, actually. Yeah.
Did I?
What did I say?
Oh, God. Oh, my God. How you feeling?
The only explanation is that Ben Falcone is like actually King Razzie himself.
Oh, my God. What if that's it?
I'm the Razzie King. No one's gonna pick on my wife. Unless it's me.
His wife is Thunder Force.
My wife is Thunder Force.
I married this movie. That's how much I care about it.
Right. Not having an affair, I'm fucking my movie. Thunder Force.
Somewhere Steven Spielberg vomits and he doesn't know why.
Like, why did I ever say that?
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus. You know what I want to celebrate?
Huh.
John Williams' birthday.
Is it John Williams' birthday?
He turned 90.
birthday, John Williams.
Happy birthday, John Williams.
Huh.
I'm
That's a good thing.
still cranking out incredible scores.
Apparently, that's bonkers. Like,
He's set to do the next Indiana Jones.
wow.
I'm like, you don't retire, but like you're allowed.
You're allowed, yeah. Like you don't have to keep doing this, bud.
No, like you've proven yourself.
Yeah, no, nobody can ever take anything from you. Good lord.
You've proved yourself like 50 years ago.
Yeah, seriously.
Joe, I'm going to leave it to you to summarize Heaven's Gate.
Okay.
You're welcome. How you feeling, Antonio?
I'm feeling great. I'm glad we skipped over Cutthroat Island. I didn't want to talk about that shit any more than I had to.
Even that much, I was like, we can wrap this up.
I think we got some real good conversation out of it, but I feel like that was exactly the time to cut it because otherwise it was just gonna get tired.
See, at least with Sound of Thunder, we had Ben Kingsley to talk about a little bit.
Yeah. Oh my god.
There's no Ben Kingsley in this movie. Frank Langella, I like you, Frank,
Yeah.
but no.
Yeah, no, not the same caliber of kind of scenery chewing or.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
Sure. Yeah, go for it. Oh my god. I still can't. I forget. There was a certain point in that movie where I don't know if it was something Matthew Modine said or something or just some particular set piece that just made me look up from my phone and just go, shut up.
I listened to him a few weeks ago on Gilbert Gottfried's podcast.
What, Modine?
And yeah, Modine.
Okay.
Do you listen to Gilbert Gottfried's podcast at all?
No, I didn't. I'd heard that he had one. I've never actually checked it out though.
Oh, get on that. He talks to classic filmmakers. He knows a lot about movies all around.
I'm sure he does. He's been in the industry for so long.
Oh, and he's also. Did you ever watch the documentary on him a few years ago, just called Gilbert? I think it was on Hulu.
No, I'm not aware of that.
Excellent documentary. So he is actually on the spectrum of autism.
Really?
And his voice on stage, like the voice he turns on for his who he is, it's all an act. Like his day-to-day life, he's very soft-spoken and weak and mild and obsessive-compulsive. So he's seen multitudes of movies. He remembers all the dialogue. He remembers every theme song. He remembers all the lyrics to everything. Like he's kind of like almost a savant when it comes to it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, so on his podcast a couple weeks ago, he had Matthew Modine on, and all he wanted to do was bust his balls about Cutthroat Island. And Modine's like, Modine's like, you know, I worked with Kubrick, right? And you know, I worked with Robert Altman when I was 19. Yeah. So, Cutthroat Island. It's just great. It's like 90 minutes of that.
Oh, I absolutely need to check that out. That's beautiful.
Go check it out. It's hilarious. It's one of I've been listening to that show for years, and that's one of my favorite episodes so far, just because he just wants to talk about Cutthroat Island, and all Matthew Modine wants to do is just get away from the subject.
God bless Gottfried. That's amazing.
Yeah, he's got one of the best podcasts out there. Definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to add that to my rotation. That's awesome. Now that I have a regular bus commute again, I can start throwing new stuff into the playlist.
You guys are in Philly?
Pittsburgh.
Cool. Yeah, I'm in a like kind of chat group with Decaying with the Boys.
Yeah. I keep meaning to reach out to them. They seem like a lot of fun.
They're a lot of fun. I'm actually having them on my other show to talk about Night of the Living Dead in a couple weeks.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
But they like you guys. They're like, you know, Pittsburgh represent. So
hell yeah.
All right.
How you feeling, Jack?
Fantastic.
I know that 3 hours just flew right by, didn't it?
All right.
This is Jack's famous 3-hour piss breaks.
I like water.
Jack, it's just been brought to my attention that Gilbert Gottfried has a podcast.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We need to check that out.
Think he'll come on the show?
Oh my god.
He probably won't, but there's a lot of people that go on his show that I'm like, if they're gonna go on his show just to get ridiculed by him, maybe they'll come on one of mine. I don't know. So
It's worth email.
Dear Matthew Modine.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
Matthew Modine is actually from Utah. I learned that in the podcast, and that's where I'm at. I'm like,
Really?
fellow
Huh.
Utah reaching out. So
Hey, you're in the state. I'm in the state. What are we doing? Come on.
Drive
we
up to his
doing?
house until he lets you in. Stand outside. Matthew, it's cold. Let me in.
let me in. It's like, is that a digital recorder? No.
No.
He hasn't done anything in a minute, right?
What,
He did
Modine?
Stranger Things.
Oh,
That's the
right.
most recent thing
Oh,
that came
God.
to mind for
I
me
forgot.
too.
Yeah. Good little throwback.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully,
All right.
Papa's back for season 4.
Can I show you something that's really
please.
funny?
Yeah.
All right, so these were my notes for Cutthroat Island.
Uh huh. Oh no.
I can't wait to see this.
And what do we got? And then I have a whole page for Heaven's Gate.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a dense
That sounds all right.
page.
Literally 5 sentences for Cutthroat Island, and 4 of them are the questions that Joe wants me to answer in Act 3.
Outstanding.
Phenomenal.
So I'm glad we skipped that.
That was fun.
Having fun?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Real quick, while we're on break, I wanna point out Mike is in the
Yes.
chat. Our friend Mike, who we went to college with, and was
the knife pricker.
It was one of the knife prickers in Knife Pricker. In our discussion of how we don't make any money making anything, the man in camera way only lose money.
Yeah, he knows it. I need to plug in my laptop before we continue.
Yes, please do that. We don't need your laptop dying again.
Yeah, like literally, guys. After we recorded our last episode, my screen and my back blew out.
Yeah, I
And
was telling him about that.
So I rushed to Walmart and bought a HDMI adapter, and I've edited all my shows on my TV that sits in front of me for the last 5 days until my new one showed up yesterday. So
Oh my god, that's
we will not be defeated.
no, not at all. The lengths that we will go to keep these shows running.
Exactly. Because I'm like, no, people are expecting it on Wednesday. It's gonna debut on fucking Wednesday.
There we go.
I'll go back to my Cutthroat Island page where some of my other notes for the Act 3 are.
I mean, you had a little bit of room to spare.
Okay, no joke. I have 2 notes for Cutthroat Island. Frank Langella, bad. Gina Davis, okay.
God.
And then I just stopped.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I would.
Oh my god.
I would love to have gone on for another 3 hours talking about Heaven's Gate, but
Well, I mean, whenever I start a Patreon, it's going to be for stuff like that, where we just get people who want to hear that shit.
We've been talking about that as well. Like we might, along with season 2, we might launch a Patreon. Yeah, and as I continue to fuck with my camera because I can't deal with my own framing.
That's what I do for Gilbert Gottfried's Patreon. I pay the $2 a month,
Mhm.
and you can listen to that extra 40 minutes of him just fucking around with guests on the show. I'm one of those guys. That's where my $2 goes.
Mhm.
You buy a Butterfinger, I buy Gilbert Gottfried's Patreon. So.
Here, I thought
I'm
it was
ready
just
whenever
all
you are.
going to tequila.
I'm excited to hear you talk about your 5 questions. So,
yes, absolutely.
If we're all cool, I want to hop back in.
Yeah, let's
do it.
do it. Yeah, back in for Act 3.
the Proilone letter of shitting.
This Edgar Allan Poe plunger that you
was hidden here by the penguin.
Oh, that's why I didn't know. So it's always going to get lost whenever it's next to the glory of that penguin.
Right. So we have 2 toilets, but 1. Are we recording?
Yeah, we're recording.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah. I said we started recording.
Yeah, I was playing with a plunger. So maybe
it's okay. So I'll cut that out and go right into the deleted scene file.
It's fine.
If I'm not, it's not what it used to be. But if my memory is not mistaken, the entire world may have been destroyed.
No, that's right. I'm not even here right now.
Who are you?
Just a voice in your head.
I assumed you were Bushy this whole time, but
Meow meow, motherfucker.
oh no, podcat.
What are some of the movie musicals that you do like?
Favorite one, Chicago. It's my number one. That was my game changer one where I was like, theater's cool.
Yeah, I got you.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, I love Little Shop.
How many other ones are there?
I think
Reefer Madness. Love Reefer
that is a good one.
That's a blast. It is vastly different from the actual show, but I think in all the right reasons. I kind of wouldn't want to see the show.
I know it's vastly different from the 1920s propaganda film.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, but like the movie, they added like the I forget which songs are in.
There's like a Brownie animated song.
Yeah, that is not in the musical. I forget what they do in place of it. There is a song that the Sally's baby fetus sings in the musical that I'm kind of sad is not in the movie. What else isn't?
Ice, anybody?
Got a sack of ice.
I could have a
I'm
sack.
good.
I could have a little ice. What else? Oh, the Love by Mary Lane song.
It's been so long since I've watched it.
It's like that boppy one. The murder song isn't in it, where everyone comes back and it's just like terrorizing Anna Gastein.
Can't forget about Rocky Horror.
Rocky Horror, do love that.
Of course.
I don't know if it was ever nominated or anything for Razzies, but I am a personal fan of Rock of Ages. But that's also because
I'm not sure.
I love the show.
Sure.
Show is it's vastly different. There's also a French musical called Huit Femme that's actually in French.
I have not heard
It's a murder mystery.
I like wheat thins.
Huit Femme?
Isn't there a movie musical with Stallone where he plays a gangster?
I don't know.
I could be wrong.
I'd be down. And coincidentally, I really enjoyed the Diana musical.
I need to watch it. Like I after seeing it nominated for so many fucking Razzies over Thunder Force.
Honestly, we'll probably end up having to watch it because it'll probably win.
I'm at this point I'm pulling for Space Jam 2 to win Worst Picture, just so we have a reason to talk about that. But
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I guess I don't know why it's nominated because it was just a filmed.
yeah,
Stage show,
It gets
Yeah.
weird. Like, it seems like a very strange thing to nominate.
Yeah.
Would you clip that? Yeah. Is Xanadu a musical, or is there just a lot of roller skating in it?
It's a musical.
That's a musical for sure.
I
got
do
nom-
also enjoy
that got nominated for a Razzie in 1980. That was among like the first crop of.
Yeah, it definitely got nominated.
I
don't
would
know if it
believe
won.
that. I love it,
But yeah, like the very first year in 1980, like there was a ton of nominations. It was 10 films I think got nominated.
wow.
Xanadu was on that list. The original Friday the 13th was on that list.
wow.
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Can't Stop the Music won.
I'm not familiar with that one.
You're okay.
We might end up doing Xanadu someday, just because I've heard so much about.
Oh, you've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
It's
Me
a
neither.
trip. Oh man, it really is. Like
it's
I would.
a disco musical, correct?
Yeah.
Well, it's ABBA.
Yeah. No, it's Electric Light Orchestra.
Oh, really?
What?
I
I
thought
didn't
it was
know that.
ABBA.
It's all ELO.
Huh.
No shit. Well, now I really want to see it.
Which
Bonkers.
the music is great, and like seeing, what's her face?
Olivia Newton.
Yes, and Fred Astaire tap dance together is pretty cool.
Shit,
That's
I didn't
wild.
know Fred Astaire was in it.
Yeah,
Nor did I.
Do you just want to just like go watch that?
You just want to watch Xanadu? Yeah, no, it's fun. It's long. It's another one of those things where it's like, ooh, you could have cut some stuff out, but like the 70s like glow waves that come off of people as they do. It's trippy. Like, you know, it all comes from this young artist who likes to do chalk paint. One of his chalk paintings comes to life, and it's all these muses from Greek mythology.
Shit. That is wild.
And Olivia Newton-John is one of them.
And I wish we were doing that. Hey, welcome back to DeRazzled.
Just completely throw everyone off.
I hope you enjoyed our conversation about Xanadu, a movie I wish we were covering. And very well may someday. We'll have to have you back on if we ever cover Xanadu.
I know. I should have picked like a musical that I knew was bad, but also might have
fun.
Yeah.
The only thing I know about
The clue is in the name. This one.
See, every time I hear Xanadu, I think of Citizen Kane because the movie starts like Xanadu Pleasure Dome.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that has nothing to do with the movie Xanadu with Olivia
No, I
Newton-John.
don't think so.
No, Orson Welles is just in the background of this one.
Just slamming hot dogs.
Yeah, on roller skates. Yeah,
And on roller skates.
Yeah.
Doing
There's a-
magic and eating hot dogs.
There is somewhere out there.
restock craft services.
There's a director's cut, I think, of Xanadu with like
Really?
10 extra minutes of
Oh
roller
my God.
disco.
We will absolutely watch that and not need them.
It is no. I mean, I know for sure I haven't seen it, and that roller disco at the end is at least 15 minutes.
We'll watch
my
that. We'll do double feature with Caligula.
Anyway.
Are you an Ozark fan?
I've seen the first season, but I haven't watched anything since then.
I watched the first episode maybe 4 or 5 times over the course of however long it's been on. I don't know. And I just finally was able to like actually power through. But like, it's very grayscale, and so like when you're watching it, you're
Yeah.
like, it's just, and it's heavy.
Yeah.
And so like getting through season 1, I was like, like I'm really not feeling great. And I did the first 3 seasons because I was trying to catch up because I knew the new one was coming out.
Yeah.
And I did all of it, and I came out of it and was finally like ready. Didn't watch the 4th season. It's like I just can't. I need time to like
that's
become
fair.
a person again. So I just finished part 1 of the season yesterday, and I'm just like, man,
Like,
this shit's depressing.
I've got a pretty big tolerance for like depressing media. Like the first time I watched Breaking Bad, I immediately started watching Breaking Bad again. Like probably went right back to the beginning.
Yeah.
I think like my partner and I at the time watched through the entire thing. We're like, holy shit, that was amazing. I was like, I need to watch this again. And she was like, have fun.
It is. It's just, it's a lot. Mm-hmm. It's a lot.
It's heavy. I've gotten to a point now where I'm just like, oh, maybe I need to ease off of that and like stop breaking myself so damn much. But god damn if it's not good.
Yeah.
Like,
It's brilliant. I mean, that's yeah. I mean, if a show is good, I'll definitely stick with it. And I'll
yeah, if it sucks and is also horribly depressing, then it's like, nah, fuck this. I'm not
can't.
giving this the time of day.
Yeah, I can't. Please.
Like at least give me a good narrative. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. There are some shows I got like super into this one show. I mean, and I'm gonna finish it. I am, but it was on. It's called Search Party on HBO.
I've heard of it. Yeah, that's with Aliyah Shawkat, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and she's great. And it's
I love her.
every season is so vastly different while still
Okay.
following the same storyline. But there's
Sure.
a different theme to each season.
I gotta watch that.
And it's great. But this last one is just like it's annoying.
Really?
It's supposed to be.
Okay.
But it's annoying. Search Party.
Heard of it?
It's apparently on HBO.
And it's got like, and I just got to a point. I think I'm only on episode 2, but episode 2 and on, I guess, is like heavy with Jeff Goldblum, who I
Oh, beautiful.
Adore.
Yeah. Love me
And
some.
I'm just
I have the man tattooed on me. Of course.
Did you get a free tattoo on Jeff Goldblum?
No, I
Day?
paid for it,
Oh.
but I did. It was the second Jeff Goldblum day.
Nice.
Oh wait, no, it was the first Jeff Goldblum day. I wasn't there for the second one because he was there for the second one and I couldn't make it. But yeah, I have.
Did Shoshi do it?
Huh?
Did Shosh do it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They organized the whole fucking thing. It was their idea basically. If I'm not mistaken, they actually got tattooed by Jeff Goldblum in that episode, and they cut because they did that as part of his National Geographic series that's on Disney Plus now, and they didn't include Shoshi's scenes in that episode, and thus I have not watched the second season of that show.
Fuck it.
But yeah, I have a tattoo on the back of one of my legs. It's Jeff Goldblum's head on the body of a fly.
I like that. I have a Jeff Goldblum pillow.
Nice,
Just a picture of his face doing this.
perfect.
Why? I don't know, but my dad got it for me for Christmas.
I got Belinda
Thank you.
Jeff Goldblum pillow for Christmas. Where it's the Jurassic Park face.
So
Perfect.
That one also is heavily ingrained in my psyche.
Oh, that's amazing.
I've loved Jeff Goldblum ever since I did this like short film. They're like really, really short film with these dudes, and we went downtown to this like smaller film company, and the sound dude was like, "Yeah, I just worked with Jeff Goldblum the other day." Because you're talking about like what actors he's dealt with that like are awesome, which ones suck. And he was saying like, "Yeah, Jeff Goldblum was really cool. He came in, and I think he was working on like The Music Man or something." And he's like, hey, I'm gonna run like run my monologue for you. Like, let me know if this works. Like, ran the monologue for this. It was a sound guy.
Yeah.
Like he was like doing like voiceover sound.
Makes me love him even more.
And he's like, Mr. Goldblum, I really think you should run that by your director. I'm just a sound guy that has nothing to do with that project. he's like, yeah, but what'd you think? Like, did it work better this way or this way?
It makes me love
Yeah,
him
but
even more.
I really want your opinion.
Right. I won't say who he thought was a douchebag on live, but I'll tell you guys later.
That's fair. Yeah. All right, are we ready to jump back in for the end here?
Oh, you betcha.
Oh, you betcha, yeah. Let's having sex with a little feller. Uh-oh. The warmth is now here.
Yeah,
Oh.
I feel that.
I sort of feeling come back up with like pizza stomach acid. And we're
Oh no!
pizza on top of that, push it back down.
We're gonna cover that up.
A little bubbly, and now we're gonna put some more whiskey on top of that. Fargo, am I right?
Fargo.
What a hell of a movie!
Love it. I've not seen the show at all.
I haven't either.
I watched the first episode of the first season, and I was like, "This is very good."
I was just talking about that. That's how I was with Ozark, and I just finally have. But I was like, I watched the first episode so many times to be like, I'm gonna get into it.
I watched the first episode of Fargo like 3 times. I'm like, it's very good. I don't know why I'm not
I don't know why I
continuing
didn't just like
past it.
Yeah,
But like life has been like, nah, you gotta do something over here. And I'm like, all right,
yeah.
okay.
Gotta rewatch
And like
30 Rock for the 20,000th time.
I have you're right. Oh god, 30 Rock is so good.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It's where my life lives. It's where I thrive.
I have a very important question for our podcast listeners.
Yes.
Ewan McGregor? Ian McGregor.
Ewan.
Yeah,
we go.
it's like you get a little bit of the E
Yeah.
for a skosh of a second.
Ewan.
This fella.
Ewan.
He.
Slide.
What the fuck were we talking about? No, train spotting, not
Oh,
fuck.
gee. I thought you were pointing at the penguin. It's right there.
No. Yeah, this is Fight Club. That's train spotting.
You have a stack of DVDs you're pointing at.
I do. You're right. These were like all the movies I considered watching the other day. I was like, fuck. I need to watch like a movie like I own. I picked out like all these different movies, and then I ended up watching Hollywoodland, which like wasn't bad, but not. I mean, these are all like pretty well known.
Yeah, that's a departure.
And then I was like, I want to watch Ben Affleck be fat in Superman, and sad. I didn't not enjoy it.
Yeah. Everyone has that like one like. I do that same thing. I'll like pull out like a bunch of DVDs and I'm like, My Cousin Vinny.
To be fair, that's a great choice.
I've never gotten to watch My Cousin Vinny. I want to.
What?
It looks like everything I know about it is phenomenal. It's never been like
It's
I'm
spectacular.
like, I need to watch a movie tonight, and that never like pops in my head.
It is like it's so much better than you would expect it
It's
to
what
be.
Joe
It
Pesci
really
and
is.
Joe Pesci, Marissa Tomei,
Fred
whoever-
Gwynn,
fucking
Ralph
Herman
Macchio.
Munster, man. Just,
What the fuck?
Yeah, that's really it. I forget who the prosecutor is, but he's also someone you would know him
Yeah.
if you saw him.
I forget the actor's name, but yeah, you would recognize.
He's
him.
in a lot of stuff like in the 80s, early
And like
90s.
from what I understand, it's pretty accurate to law.
Well, they use Marissa Tomei's testimony in law schools to this day.
It was just bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were starting the show back up, but then we got
We
really
got sidetracked by
What
you
else
point.
do we have
I
here?
wasn't sure what you were pointing
You're gonna
to.
shoot at Zia?
Belle de Jour. I was gonna watch The Lives of Others, but it's a little too topical currently.
Fair.
We'll take a little sip. I'm glad that the Academy was able to look past the memery and still give Anne Hathaway an Oscar for that.
Deserved.
Yeah.
Great. Hey, let's take a minute to go fuck ourselves. I think we all deserve it.
Oh boy.
Maybe not
Oh
for
boy.
what maybe not for what happened today, but at some point in our lives, we've deserved what we're about to do to ourselves, which is we should go fuck ourselves.
Yeah.
You're here.
Let's go ahead and cut to ads, and we'll be back after we finished fucking ourselves. Did you ever steal toilet paper from Waller? Just curious.
Yes, of
Okay,
course I
so we all
did.
have it, right?
Roll, like the whole roll.
Right, the whole roll.
Yes, we all stolen toilet paper in college.
All right, good. Because like I would have to kick you out otherwise.
Yeah, that's fair. I would leave.
You know what? I'm really sad that we never did group poop.
I know.
Pardon me?
Well, group poop was like after we ate at Foster's, and sometimes it was a questionable meal.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes is a loose term, much like
Loose. Gotcha.
much like our bowel movement.
The gentlemen would all gather in the, depending on how far you made it before it kicked in, whichever dormitory was nearest,
Sure.
and have a group poop, which is where you get in the stalls and support each other.
Yeah.
If you didn't go to college where everyone has their own suite, then there are communal bathrooms where this is possible.
Right.
That's true. Yeah.
We were, I mean, towards the end of my time serving at IUP,
Serving.
a lot of the buildings were remade in order to have individual.
Yeah.
Yep.
I missed it. Yeah.
I missed it. I was in
I
Scranton
didn't.
RUP.
I did experience that before I moved off campus.
What do you mind?
Oh, you did.
What telling us what the dormitory you're in?
I was in. I was the head RA for the suites on Maple.
Okay, I'm not familiar with those ones actually.
That was right. Like, so let's say you have like Scranton and Lawrence and Schaefer right across Maple from there. That was where it was. So it was like where it's where the new health center went in, and
God, that health center was terrifying.
Well, it was a less terrifying health center.
That's good.
Once they moved it out of Pekin, it was
Jesus, the Pekin Health Center was terrifying.
Yeah, that building was
I
horrible.
think it gave me crabs
By looking at it.
just by looking at it.
Yeah.
I didn't even enter the building.
I wasn't.
Like crabs.
But yeah, it was basically people were sealed off in their own little terrariums of living spaces.
Yeah. So like we would go to the tri halls before the tri halls were demolished, and we're like, "How you doing?"
Okay.
Plop.
Yeah, this is where the tri-halls originally were.
You could have want to drink a lot of water.
I do miss the tri halls. There was this one time.
Me too.
It was my freshman year, and we had a pretty close knit freshman class. We were all in the same acting one. It was Steve, Vicky, Liz, that group, Megan.
Yeah.
We all went to the same study halls because we couldn't drink yet, right?
Yeah.
We couldn't legally drink yet. Anyway.
Right. Yeah. Well.
And we like hang out in the study halls, and we like turn out the lights because we're exhausted. We don't want to have those like soul suckers on. And then like somebody came into the main area of the study hall. We're all in, like the back area with like the door closed. And I'm like, this is gonna look terrible when we come out of here. So I'm like, all right, so here's what we're gonna do. Steve, you're gonna leave first. Just take a minute, you leave,
Please.
and then then the women will all leave, and then I will wait another couple minutes, then I will leave.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
It didn't matter
of
at all.
course not.
So how does this tie back to what you were talking about with Grant Morrison and Mark Millar?
Oh.
You see,
Group poop.
group poop
Yeah.
was a collaborative effort to adapt the food into a format which was poop.
Let's move on, please.
Jack, if you could throw me some of those saltine crackers, that would be tight.
Oh my god.
They're right behind his head.
Oh man, there are saltines there.
Yeah,
You want some?
I just
Mike likes
asked.
some saltines.
Oh, Mike wants some.
Yeah, he doesn't have his headphones on yet. I'm the only one who heard that, aside from the audience.
Oh, so I could get all kinds of stuff. Oh.
Um,
So we have secret. Oh my god, we can have like secret like asides that Jack will never know about. Oh no!
No,
Don't stop
no,
talking about Jack. What an old joke. I hate using that one because it's such like a social pulp, you know? Like, oh, stop talking about Jack. Jack's here now.
So, Mike, I think Joe already told you that, like,
Cat tree? Yeah.
we're back to our cat tree roots.
Yeah.
No,
this
I
is
love
the,
it.
The very first thing we recorded when we did the Batman Heroes Don't Do That thing, it was just Jack's phone set up on the cat tree across the room.
Well,
Specifically
Jack,
in a canister
In a
of like
canister.
oatmeal
Yeah.
as a
Jack,
tripod.
you don't have to, like, the only reason you would ever have to apologize to me, and I was explaining this to Joe before because you couldn't hear it, is if you actually had good equipment. Like, if this was actually like a
Right.
wonderful soundstage and like you apparently had a grant that gave you thousands upon thousands of dollars,
I don't know
then
if
I'd be
that's
like,
right.
I'm not interested in being a part of this. I only do stuff that has like a. Remember when we went to the film festival and we had to explain our budget?
Hi, Belinda.
Hi, Belinda. It just wanders in a gremlin, steals, and is gone. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's pretty
We've
much
been
how I felt
blessed.
my girlfriend.
We've been blessed. Absolutely blessed. But anyhow, remember
we took Knifebreaker to
Lancaster.
This is
Lancaster, yeah.
Lancaster, yeah.
and
Lancaster.
They were like, if any of
Lancaster.
you who have your video in the show want to come up and like talk about the process.
No,
there's a-
top three. Because it was
Wait, what?
us, the dude from Texas, and the two ladies from
like,
Los
LA or
Angeles.
something. Wait, were we top three?
We were top three in that. In
Hell
yeah. We got third.
Were there 4 options?
When you say top three, like they were in the top three, you know that means that we were number three.
right.
but
right. Yeah, no.
uh,
obviously.
Hey,
so the
that's a
top
medal.
three went up to the stage, and they they got to do a Q&A with us, and it was great because they're
I wish
like,
I could have been there for this.
one guy's like, "Hey, what was your guys' budget?" And like the two ladies, the wonderful ladies that were
Oh, they were
great,
fantastic. Their
yeah,
show
they
was
were
great.
awesome. They were just like, well, we had to get permits and stuff because we had to work on the street in Los Angeles. So it was like, what was it, like $20K or something?
It was something ridiculous.
my
You-
Yeah,
you
it was
know,
like
I've never had
20K.
my bank account. Yeah.
It was like $20K, a sum of money I'd never seen before.
Maybe
Real quick for like
$50.
any audience that may or may not actually be here. So we're talking about the short film we did with our film company, Random Speed Pictures, Knifebreaker, the Brickening, which is like a 6-minute short film we did in a week.
A weekend.
That literally a week from like start to end.
Oh, right, from writing to
Um,
casting to shooting. It was all
writing,
week.
casting, rehearsal,
We did
costuming,
charitably.
prop
You're using
building.
that word charitably.
We ran the lines. They
We read the lines. Yeah.
It was better than it had any right to be. We
Yeah.
can say that.
And by permits, we climbed up through somebody's like row house onto a roof.
While a
and
bunch of
behind a-
people in Children's Hospital watched us from
Right,
the
there's like a
windows.
giant, like it's a huge hospital that looks down over some row houses, and children are just like looking at us through the window.
Watching us play with a drone and
Yeah.
almost slip
Oh,
off
yeah.
this damn roof.
It was so cold.
Penguin around.
Oh
Vince.
yeah, those were the hard days.
So when they talked about budget,
we got into a film festival. We went there, me and Jack, because we had to go to a murder room as our Airbnb. It was great. There were horses. We hated it. We bonded over that. Well, we get up there, and yeah, it's top 3. We're the 3rd place, and somebody asked, "What were your budgets?" First group, they're like, "Yeah, it was $20K." Somewhere, it might have been more than that. I think
Yeah,
20K is a low ball on that one because they were like, they had to get permits to be able to use the street in Los Angeles.
they like
Then
paid their actors.
Yeah, real people, real actual people. And then the next guy, he's just like, "Oh yeah, well my buddy had connections with the person that owned the building, so it was only $10K for me to get this all done." And we're up there, and I just looked at Jack, and we had to do a quick
math in our hands.
math. Yeah, we're like, "Well, what happened?" I was like, "Well, I bought a sweater, but
Mhm.
the sweater, I'm pretty sure that was a personal expense because I used that sweater." And then Jack's like,
we
"We
bought
got
the kielbasa.
catering."
We bought the kielbasa.
We did not
Yeah.
get catering.
No,
Oh,
J-
didn't we get
J-
Subway
J-
for somebody?
J-
Did we get Subway at some point?
I don't think so.
I don't remember Subway. I remember Jamie hooked us up with some stuff at Commonplace.
that was
Oh,
free.
maybe, okay. But I think like we were just like about what, $40 total?
If that-
something.
No,
something
because
like
I
that.
had to buy the material to make the brick to throw at Vince's head. Because
Yes.
we didn't get a
Okay.
real brick. And the kielbasa, we bought. I think
Yes.
2
It
packets
was a
of
two
kielbasa.
pack of
Had to get the
kielbasa.
2. Yep.
just in
Because
case
it
one
broke.
which it did.
It was
One
smart,
did
yeah.
break. We had to be prepared.
Yeah.
We're professionals. Let's talk about our childhoods and renting movies. I have several.
Go for it.
Oh, me first.
Yeah.
So whenever I was able to like rent movies on my own, right? Like I wasn't just like a kid going in there with my parents. We went to this movie rental place called Movies, which was over in Juniata, part of Altoona. And I would go there with my friend Matt. We'd like hang out during the summer, and we would get anime. And this was like early anime, right? This was like Funimation maybe, or no, it
Sure.
was like Manga Explosion or some shit like that. I can't remember. It was some really bad American companies like imported whatever they could get, which always had boobies.
Naturally.
Oh, of course.
Right. But whoever ran Movies put it in the animation section. It was separate, right? Like it was like foreign animation, so it was, like, up on the shelf. And then there, Disney, whatever, Fern and Gully. But we would go in there, and those are the two anime movies I know, Disney and Fern and Gully.
There's only 2.
And it's also not Fern and Gully; it's just Fern Gully. I think.
It is
Yeah.
just Fern Gully.
It's just Fern
you
Gully.
added a syllable into this.
Fern and Gully.
Also,
Or
the
Avatar, whatever
my
you want to call it.
childhood favorite film, Disney.
Oh yeah, I love
That
that.
one movie that's specifically called Disney.
Which in my head is what's the one with Disney and the Jack and the Beanstalk? That's the one. That's
Jack,
Disney. The
Jack
movie.
and the Beanstalk.
They don't call it something else.
Nah.
Anyway, that's Disney.
Moving
the
on.
movie. Moving on. So we would go in there, and I'm like 14, 15 with my friend Matt, and we're like, let's get Ghost in the Shell because there's movies. And they're like, well, it's unrated, right? So like, oh yeah, animated movie, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Of course. Yeah.
Or
Gotcha.
Akira, or those were the better ones. There's a lot of like MD Geist, weird shit. Vampire Hunter D was there. It was pretty good.
Nice.
Anyway, so that's my fondest memory of renting movies.
So
Joe?
for me, video rental places were always way more about games than movies.
Yeah.
Because like I would always, I think we've talked about this before. How about I would go to Eagle Video,
Yeah.
and I would always there were like a set number of games I would constantly try to rent, and it was always like Streets of Rage 2, Cool Spot.
Oh my God,
that
yeah.
game's
Yeah, yeah,
stupid good for being a product placement. And I forget what else, but when that closed down and Hollywood Video opened up in my town, I started in the summers walking from my house to Hollywood Video. if I had money, like
Right.
if my family had remembered to give me an allowance that week, I went and I would go rent like N64 games. So
Right.
oh god, I lost count of the number of times I rented the Ocarina of Time.
See, we rented more like Super Nintendo games,
Sure.
and we had the worst luck picking because we just picked based on like the art on the cover.
But that's what everyone did
Right.
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
had
absolutely.
terrible.
at that
terrible-
age.
Right. There's like one where Luigi's looking for Mario, but it's like an
Oh,
educational
Mario is
one.
missing.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Could never figure out what to do. I'm like, I'm just walking around this town. Don't
I-
know what I'm doing.
I remember I
wasted my $5.
I played a version of that on a computer that I totally legally obtained.
Hell yeah.
And and I never got anywhere. I was like, what do I do?
Yeah, so frustrating. I'm like, this is the game I have for the weekend. Turtles in Time was like the only one I'm like, I'm gonna
Yes.
re-rent this over. and
Oh
over.
my
Actually
God.
owned that one though. Didn't have to rent it. It was great.
Nice.
Smart.
Very nice.
See, like my experiences when it came to that, it was very family oriented because we lived in Wilkinsburg, didn't live like close enough that I could walk as a kid. So like there was a Blockbuster and it was a little drive away. So it was always the family would go. We would do two things. We would look at like movies first, find something for us to watch, and then me and my brother would go and just trash the game section. Just my brother's like 2.5 years younger, but like it's still a good gap for gaming together. So
Oh,
like there
yeah.
was like Spider-Man and Carnage
Yeah. Oh, I love that game.
with that great box art.
Mhm.
There's
Oh.
some really good box art.
Yeah.
Oh.
I never played that
Oh
one.
my God.
But like it's one of those things like now that you guys are talking about it that makes me realize like what a good family like childhood I had in that scenario because it was like
Mhm.
all of us together going there looking and finding stuff. Like it's a very nice set of memories to have.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Very different from like being at IUP and going to what was it,
Going to
Family Video?
Video.
Right.
Where you're just like, is there just like a whole section in the back that's hidden
Mhm.
from everyone else because it's porn?
Yep. Sure is. And none of it's good.
No.
None and wait, none of it. Joe, did you watch all of it, Joe?
Every single.
No.
Are you able to tell us without a doubt that there was not a hidden gem in
Categorically.
there?
The number of
No, I have no
times
idea.
I would
He's
go
like, check my
there-
website to see my rating of each.
You told me you've been reading my blog, Mike.
I sincerely
I'm
like
trying to
those.
give you a plug, dude, and not like the movies you watch.
Oh, right.
Fantastic. What an amazing opening to this episode.
I've had such a hard time enjoying Marvel movies in a while, like, and not even just like in a generally pretentious way, but just more in a political way. But
I
continue.
mean,
Sorry.
that's fair. There's some shit to unpack in a number of them, in most of them,
how so?
arguably. I think glorification of the military-industrial complex and
Think
things of that nature.
here's the one that always comes back to me. Just ignoring even just the low hanging fruit of almost all of the films before like Ragnarok, but WandaVision.
Yeah.
Eh?
Are you
Great.
making me feel bad about WandaVision? 'Cause that's
Oh,
really
it was
good.
great until you get to the end where they're just like, oh, they'll never understand what you sacrificed for them. Oh yes, the people you've been mentally raping this entire time.
holding captive this entire time.
But you specifically gave the ability to kind of understand what's going on. Just a little bit of them still there, so it's even worse. So they know it's bad. Like the one person's like, "Please let my kids go. You can do whatever you want to
Can you
me.
please
Let my kids go."
outside.
But at the end, they're just more like, "Wow, you gave up like your protection from your own personal trauma for them, and they'll never understand." It's like, yeah,
No, they shouldn't.
they shouldn't. You did. You're a monster. Like you are actually something we should shut down. Like everything you're arguing that you shouldn't be for, like everything that Civil War, you've just made the government's argument of it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Well,
Arguably.
okay.
You
This is,
need to
like,
be
way off
controlled.
topic, but
Sorry.
Oh God. Do we really want to get in this rabbit hole?
Yeah, we should. Have fun.
To me, Wanda at the end of WandaVision is ambiguous, leaning towards corrupted by her own trauma.
Mhm.
Because not only does she, I guess the question comes down to, is she herself aware of what she's doing?
Mhm.
And if she is cognizant of what she's putting those people through, then yes, she's a monster. I did not get that implication throughout the show. Not until she's confronted by Agatha that this is what you're doing, not only for yourself but for these people. And there are moments where like her world that she's built out of trauma, this like fake world that she's built, both as a metaphor and for realsies, is being interrupted. The part where I'm like, I'm not sure if she's aware of it or not is once the military shows up and they're like, hey, cut that shit out. And she's like, no.
That's the issue. But even more than that, even if she was fully engaged in her own fantasy, up until like, ignoring the fact that there were breaks that she obviously fixed herself.
Right.
It doesn't necessarily matter because you have an entire town of people that have been mentally tormented and their consent is completely out the door. Like I hate using the... But does that matter? Like her personal experience
like,
does
super nerdy shit, right? Okay. So I guess in the show too, in the comics, she creates her children, right? They're not real. So if she's not aware that her children are fake, what would make her believe one way or the other that these townspeople are real or fake? They might be a construct of her imagination. And until she's proven otherwise, to her, that is reality.
But then we're getting into the argument of intention versus result.
Yeah.
Her intention isn't to mentally torment these people and keep them in slavery.
Right.
And basically leave children locked in rooms for months on end because she doesn't have them in an episode she's doing.
Besides that being hot, let's
the kids trapped in how do I there's a lot to unpack here. It just hammer the tone of the end where it's supposed to be sympathetic for her. Like I think there's a lot of nuance lost on how there should also be a lot of we need to consider what you've done though in this. Like those lines, it feels like a very it feels a lot. It's very Marvel in that moment.
Okay.
It's
I see what you're saying. So I'm speaking of Wanda as though she's a real person, right?
Yeah, no, please.
For a second.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you, the creators of the show, the showrunners, or who knows, it might have been like Disney, Marvel corporate, who were like...
Who knows? Either way, it was put into a film and given to us for consumption.
The way that they present Wanda as still being like, no, but she's not that bad. That's them kind of, what's the word I'm saying or looking for?
Being clumsy?
Not being clumsy. They're just afraid.
There's trepidation on their part to delve too far into that subject matter.
But you're already. But then you've the whole point. Right. Like I'm sorry not. I'm sorry. I broke it. Sorry.
Have you read Scott Snyder's run on Batman? It doesn't matter.
Which section was that? I'm never good at remembering which writer was doing.
It's New 52. It's Court of Owls stuff and stuff like that.
I haven't read that. I've been more Tom King.
Yeah. Every single arc and I very much enjoy those comics and the art's fantastic. Every single arc he does, he introduces this idea that would like break Batman, like the mold of who the character is, but it would make it very interesting. But then he's like, actually, maybe not. So like in the first arc, he introduces that perhaps Bruce had a brother that his parents kind of neglected because he was fucked up in some way.
Evil.
Yeah. But then at the last second they're like, but maybe
he's not actually
the brother. Like they're afraid to make that last final jump, like commit to the scary part. And I think in WandaVision they could have committed to making her a fully broken monstrous person. But they were like, but we also got action figures this stuff.
I don't know. I think that there's a middle ground there where they can acknowledge the horror of what she did with while still acknowledging that she was totally out of like unaware of what was happening. She can still. I don't know. They could have still explored that in a more responsible fashion. I think.
But that's my a lot of my argument here. like at the risk of being bombastic about it, they're cowards. Like you've made the whole story, you've set the whole story up. Like this is the point of everything you've done thus far, and then get at the end and be like, "Oh, we don't want to be that thought provoking or that mean to the character.
right.
We don't want you to be like, oh, but like, is at the end of the day she actually a villain, even if she didn't mean to be, and
I
needs to
agree
somehow make reparations?" They avoid that, and in doing that, especially in like, you know, you've made the media that's being mass consumed and everyone like was engaged, like you've stopped people from asking those questions and from engaging on the topic, and that's very important for right now, especially in the world we live in the world that everyone's lived in forever. Honestly, like I can't say that this is more important now, but I can't be like, oh, I feel bad. Yeah, they didn't want to go the whole way. It's like, then why did you write this entire story?
Yeah.
Like, what? Okay, I'm sorry, you chickened out at the last second. You set this whole thing up for this. There's no being like, let me give you some space. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a big, scary thing to do that.
Yeah.
But you set the whole thing up. You just kind of left it on let's end this the way Marvel would like it.
You ran the race, and then you purposely stopped before the finish line.
Yeah.
One last thing, and then I want to move on.
Yeah,
we should get back on topic.
I agree with 100% what you're saying. They should have done the risky thing. And I've been reading the rest of Disney War, and so many times, because
it's probably the same thing.
It's a lot of the same thing. We're like, we could take the safe way, or we could take the risky way. Let's like start going in the risky direction. Then
but it makes such a good setup for another season if you do it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But action figures.
But you can still have action figures.
You can still have action figures.
But I get it. I know. I'm sorry, but like it was just my thing.
Just speaking of like the character Wanda's trauma, right? Because like fuck the executives.
Hell yeah, hot and saucy. Fuck the
Right.
executives.
Ew.
Doughy bodies.
I'll send you my copy of Disney War. You'll never want to say that again.
Bob Iger.
Are we keeping this in, or are we editing this out?
I need to like actually pause for a second because I've like lost my thought entirely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, bud. That's my fault.
No, that was entirely my fault. I fucked that up.
I like these. Like, let me just take a drink real quick.
It's not strong enough. So, responding to you're saying that Wanda is a monster. I can't sit comfortably with that specifically, because she did something against did something without people's consent, which is horrible. She didn't have the intention or the knowledge that she was doing it.
Oh yeah, but isn't that she does need to make reparations?
Yes,
she's not. That's what it is. Like,
it's the
I don't mean
good people can do terrible things.
Yeah. Yes, don't mean this as me saying black or white. She's a monster. She can't be redeemed. It's a matter of you did not mean this thing, but for months you did mind.
You did that thing.
You did something beyond torture, beyond any conceive, like, because I don't want to use I hate using the trigger word rape. I hate it, but like that's what this is on like a scale that is wild. And it's not to say you are evil because of this. It's your intentions mean nothing to these people. What you did to them is what matters. How do you find a way to bridge that gap? And that's the interesting thing that could happen.
Yeah.
What I'd love to
That's
happen,
the depth.
She's not done fucking up.
Of course not. And she shouldn't be. She's a hero.
No.
She's a superhero.
She's going to go even further into the dark looking for her children.
Yep.
And I want her to, so that a writer...
So we can have the Young Avengers?
No, fuck them. I've never read them, actually. Don't know.
They're actually all right.
So a writer will be forced to redeem her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing, because you can get that nuance where it's not this person has to be gone forever, but like everyone you are redeemable, but you have to be engaged in that story. You have to want that. Like, you have to understand that intentions don't matter. It's what your effect is. And even if you didn't mean to have that effect, that's okay. You made a mistake.
Yeah.
Show us that you've grown from it.
Exactly. Like, it's not too late to do something about it and make it, and try to do right by the people that you did wrong by.
Yes.
Cool.
We should get back on track.
And we're back on track.
So far off. I don't even know how to get us back.
But what good content.
We may have just accidentally recorded a bonus episode.
Yeah, what good content. Yes. Come on. Like, that's a good... I think that's great.
It is good content.
But not for what we were trying to do. I understand.
Honestly, that might be like...
Admittedly, what we were trying to do, we were have a hard time doing. So where are we? Where are we?
How dare you ever imply that Alfred's creepy?
I'm sorry.
He had to get those measurements somehow. When she's asleep.
Think about that.
I assume that he made one in each size because he's just very efficient.
Wow. There's a deleted scene of just every possible size, like shifting on like an automated rack and then aligning perfectly for her.
He did the same thing for Batman and Robin because sometimes you're a little gassy.
Sometimes you're a little gassy. Yeah, I mean, especially when you have that kind of money.
And women tend to bloat once a month.
Shit, I tend to bloat once a day.
I went to the gym today and I'm still bloated afterwards somehow.
Yeah. By the way, I thought you guys were roommates.
We were at one point. We currently live. We both live with our partners in different houses now.
Okay, because I was wondering why you have different backgrounds in your pictures.
We are actually in the same room right now. Yeah, it's just this is a sound blanket behind me, and just, there's just too much cool shit on the wall behind Jack to cover up.
I'm looking for something to throw at Joe so you can see, but
right now he's just got a coffee cup, and I've got to wrap it in the face with a mug.
And it's a good coffee mug. I don't want
right.
Mug, yeah.
Nice. Just a sound blanket. If that's something fancy for you.
Yeah, we did have like a tapestry that we had behind us when we were still filming in the basement of your old apartment, but
the Dungeon of Mold. Yes,
the Dungeon of Mold. But we lived together. God, that was like what, 3 or 4 years ago now. Yeah, and then you moved in with Belinda, and then I stayed in that apartment for a couple more years, and then the pandemic happened, and then I moved in with Becca.
I'm gonna double check the director, just so I'm not.
I'm like 99.9% you're right.
I'm also kind of curious what his like I'm sorry film is. I mean,
while you're looking that up, I was just reminded of the fact that Jared Leto is talking about how he wants Morbius to have a film with Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. Like he knows, right?
Don't nobody tell him.
Nobody tell him. Has anyone told Jared?
Can somebody send him a copy of Avengers Endgame?
Jesus.
He needs to know.
He might need.
It was definitely D.W. Griffith.
Yes.
He did so many fucking movies. Well, we'll find it out and tell you later. Stay tuned for when I do that. The original.
How did we fall into a D.W. Griffith hole?
I don't know. Fucking Birth of a Nation.
Oh no, I brought this on us. That's right.
You did, but it was there. Like, it was in the toy box. Until I found the one I did pick, that was my choice.
Oh,
and
man.
then I was like, no one's gonna know Birth of a Nation except for Joe, apparently. Didn't they do another film called Birth of a Nation not too long ago that was like meant to kind of erase?
Did they?
The original one, but like done from the point of view of like Birth of a Nation is a bad thing.
Let me look into that. I'm gonna IMDb that.
Curious. I want to say it was overshadowed by some things the director had done in his past that they basically like shuffled the movie under the rug. I wonder if this has been recording at all.
I think it has.
How long are we on Act 1?
That was only like 37 minutes,
really?
something like that. It was pretty quick.
Including the ranty rant at the beginning?
Yeah. Yeah, like everything was only about 37 minutes.
I feel like Rorschach's actual favorite movie would be some like misguided movie from the 70s that was trying to say like fuck you,
Oh my god.
but then like accidentally was super racist.
Yeah. Like whatever the American History X of that time was.
Right. Yes. Oh, God. He didn't live to see American History X, so
No, he got blown up before that.
to smithereens. Gross. And then I was like, oh, what would Doc Manhattans be? And I was like, Koyaanisqatsi.
The collective works of David Attenborough.
I'm trying to think of like what's that music that Vince suggests, like mathcore or some shit like that.
It's like one of a variety of
Right.
genres that that Vince would suggest.
Like
yeah.
mathematically, it's perfect, but to listen to it makes me want to gargle thumbtacks.
Yeah.
That's what Doc Manhattan would like of the movies.
I can see him be. Yeah. Whatever the mathcore equivalent of film
Mathcore,
is. Yeah. Oh God.
On paper, this is a perfect film. In reality, it's so boring. Now's the part of the show where I realize I forgot to tell Antonio how we end the show. Every guest we've ever had, I always forget.
You
to
never
say,
tell anyone.
Not a single. Let's see if he picks up on it. Hey, come back next time, because we will sure. What will we do, Antonio?
Okay, I'm lost.
You
failed me.
I absolutely did.
Well, you also said it. You also said it weird.
I did say it. Well, yep.
I spoke so eloquently for 2 hours, and now I feel like
I've
I don't
undone
know
it for
anything.
you. You're welcome. So what I would have said if I thought of it was like, hey, Antonio, at the end of the show, I'll say like, come back next time.
Where we'll be sure to.
We'll be sure to, and then you'll say razzle dazzle you. But I didn't do that, so that's why you're lost at this moment.
Because
Never once have done it.
Neither of us ever remember to tell anyone to do this. Just
Oh, so I'm not alone in this.
no.
Not at all.
Okay.
You're in a good group of people. So hey,
Yeah, everyone, thank you.
come back next time. We're sure to.